The door closed or open?
No, it's open. Okay. Cool. Okay. And let's see what happens. Let's see what people said they wanted to hear. Fun day today. We hit the circuit breaker. Market was down quite a bit. We hit the circuit breaker within, I think, almost 2 minutes. Almost 2 minutes of the market opening, we hit the circuit breaker. Okay, so looks like Pafu wants me to do one thing. Okay. So let's start with this one. So, oh, I know how to do it. That's the best one. I have a couple comments. And welcome to my Thursday night one. That's just to help people out. Okay. Okay, so Pafu asked me to talk about conduit theory. Okay, so the conduit theory. Oh, by the way, a couple things. One, welcome. My name is Ken Finnan, Capital Advantage Tutoring. And I am here to help you pass the SIE exam, the Series 6 exam, and the Series 7 top-off. I am trying to get through the SIE book, hopefully in the next, I guess, couple months, and then I'll add on the Series 6 book. That won't help you now, anyone who's live tonight, because you'll be done. But my goal is to have it, because I'm realizing I'm getting a lot more Series 6 students than top-off. Okay, so let's see. So first of all, I'll try to do some more Series 66 stuff, but let's talk about taxation on mutual funds. So when a mutual fund pays out, there's two ways they pay out. One, they pay out quarterly. They pay a quarterly they do a quarterly dividend. That's how mutual funds pay. Wow. And that quarterly dividend is considered, it's when they earn interest, when they earn dividends on their portfolio, and then when they have short-term gains. That's what they pay quarterly in interest, and you pay that as if it's ordinary income. And remember, nothing about a mutual fund is tax deferred. Nothing about a mutual fund is tax deferred. So the way that goes is, oh, why do I keep doing that, right? Okay, so now, trying to hide the comments for 2 seconds because I will get distracted. So the quarterly income that you're getting is going to be taxable at ordinary income. So when a mutual fund pays a dividend, that's their interest, dividends, or short-term capital gains, and that will be taxed as ordinary income, so they lump it together. Now, once a year, mutual funds distribute capital gains. That is their long-term capital gains, and it's treated as long-term capital gains to you also. Even if you bought it the 2 days, 3 days before they paid it, if you get it, it's considered a long-term gain to you because it's a long-term gain to the mutual fund. So if the mutual fund, it distributes a long-term gain, it is a long-term gain for you too. No matter what, there's nothing deferred about mutual fund stuff. So mutual funds, everything they do is taxable. So if you buy one and sell it, that's taxable as a capital gain or loss. If you get income or dividends, that's taxable. If it's the dividends, it's taxable as ordinary income. If it's a capital gain distribution, it's taxable as a long-term capital gain, which is that 15 or 20%. Now, Pafu, and before I go on to the other stuff, Pafu asked, what is the conduit theory? So the conduit theory is this. Let me do a little history. Most corporations, if you pay a dividend, that money's been taxed. So a C corporation, they earn money, they pay taxes on it, then they distribute the dividend, and then you pay taxes on it, so it's double taxed. The conduit theory, think of a conduit as like a pipeline. So the conduit theory is that mutual funds that pay at least 90% of their net income. So if they distribute 90% of their net income, then they only pay tax on the 10 or whatever they don't. And then you get the money untouched by the evil IRS. So the conduit theory is saying if they distribute 90% of their income, then that money comes to you tax-free. So then you pay tax on it, but it's only taxed once versus a corporation, which it's already been taxed, and then you pay tax on it. So the conduit theory is as they pass it through, that's what's going on. Okay, so, okay. Mark, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Um, oh my God, I'm stuttering and I hate the live that way. So I hope that helped a little bit. Now, if you're taking the top off tomorrow, one, don't be up so late. So go to bed, get off this thing. Second, make sure you understand the suitability and make sure you practice some of that option shit. Okay. You got to know the options. I mean, I know it's kind of late to do this, but you got to know when an option is bullish, when it's bearish. Like if I buy a call, I'm bullish. I buy a pair, I'm bearish. I get that. If I'm long stock, how do I protect? I buy a put. If I want to add income, I sell a call. If I'm short stock, how do I protect? I buy a call. How do I add income? I sell a put. Listen to what I just said and make sure that you have that memorized. Okay, so not Mark, somebody else, Antonio Betancourt. He said to me, any strategies how to solve straddles and saddles, but I think he means straddles. So straddles and spreads. Okay, couple things real quick. On hedging, which is stock and an option, okay? Stock and an option, it's stock plus or minus premium. Always remember, break even, when you have stock, it's always stock plus or minus premium. If you're long stock, if you buy and buy, so if you're long stock and long a put, you bought both, so you add the premium to the stock price. If you are long and short, say you're long stock and short a call, that's a buy and a sell, so you subtract. So the rule here, it's always stock plus or minus premium. If they're the same action, buy and buy or sell and sell, you add. If it's a buy and a sell, you subtract. Okay. So the thing Antonio asked was about how to solve the problems. That I can't do in 2 minutes, but I can tell you to get break even. Everything's based on the break even. So to get break even on a spread, you subtract the two premiums from each other, and then you either add to the call price or subtract from the put. Again, for break even for a spread, you subtract the premiums, whatever you get that net, then you either add it to the lower call strike or subtract from the higher. One premium for a spread, one premium. How do you know it's a spread? Buy a call, sell a call, or buy a put, sell a put. It's the same thing, just done twice. Now, the next part of this is the straddles. A straddle is buy a call, buy a put. And there are two break-evens. Only straddles have two break-evens. So it's going to be is you buy a call, buy a put, or sell a call, sell a put. Since it has two break-evens, you're going to add, since they're both buys or both sells, you're going to add the premiums. You're going to add the premiums. And then you're going to add the total premiums to the strike. That's the upper one, to the call strike, and then you're going to subtract from the lower. So again, two break-evens. You add the total premiums to the call strike, and then you subtract from the put. So you'll have two. If it's long, you want it to be outside that range. If it's short, you want it to be in. I'm doing it very quick. Eddie, yeah, basically, I have 70 videos. I think 60 of them are just the SIE. I think 90% of my videos. So if you click on, so what happens is everyone only sees the last 5 I've done. If you click on my page video, it should list all my videos, start from the beginning and work my way through. I actually have a playlist for just SIE, and I'm trying to add to it. So give it a look. Okay. So Jonathan, you asked about margin. Okay. So for margin, remember these, I'm not going to do the math again because I tutor that and that's the heavy stuff. So now, margin, always remember equity is going to be market minus debit. It's what it's worth minus what I owe. So that's my equity. Now, if my equity is over 50%, the amount over the oh my God, I'm losing it. So whatever your equity is, the amount that you have over 50% is your SMA. So if you have 50 grand market value and 20 grand equity, 20 grand debit, shoot me. 50 minus 20 is 30 equity. That is my equity. Half of 50, my market value is 25. So 30 minus 25 is 5. That's my SMA. SMA is always equity minus rate T, which is always half the market value. That's the long. And buying power is always 2 times SMA. The short side is credit balance. If you see the word credit balance, it's a short account. If you see debit, it's long. So equity on a credit is credit minus the current market value or the short market value. That's I'm equity. I'm not dying. It's my allergy. So it's if my equity is going to be credit minus market, that gives my equity. And then I do the equity minus the reg T, which is always half the current market value. Okay. So we'll talk about that. So I'll help that. So SMA is always equity minus reg T. SMA is always how much equity you have over the 50% number. And that's what it is. So SMA is always equity minus the current reg T. SMA is like a home equity loan. It's what you can borrow from your account. You can borrow from your account the SMA. And here's the thing. So if you have a long account and your market goes up, you have equity. You have SMA and you have equity. If the market goes back down, your SMA stays. It's like a home equity loan. And whatever your SMA is, it stays. So if the market goes up and then back down, your SMA stays the same. The only time that you would not be allowed to use your SMA is if it puts you below the minimum maintenance. So if it puts you below that 25% or 30% threshold, then you will have SMA, but you will not be allowed to withdraw it. You can never take out SMA if it will put you below either $2,000 or your minimum maintenance. Okay. I hope that's okay. Excess equity is SMA. Excess equity is SMA. It's just that your excess equity can go down. Yeah, the books try to say that SMA and excess equity are not the same. For this exam, they are. So the only difference is that if you buy stock at 50 and it goes up to 70, you create SMA and excess equity. If the stock goes down, you lose your excess equity because it's not there, but you still have SMA. That's all. It's the only difference. It really is. If you want to think of it as it's SMA. That's the easiest way to think of this. Okay. 66 stuff. I'm trying to do more of them, but that's not really. I know Kaplan makes it very hard. I fucking hate them too. So hopefully, watch 2 weeks from now. So what's interesting is that when I did the poll, the problem is most people did use Kaplan because they think they have connections with so many people and they're so big, it's easy, but they are absolutely not good. Okay, Antonio, I actually answered your question. I think I did. Okay, yeah. So, hey, Richard, how are you? Welcome back, Mr. Pass all the exams. Okay. So, Antonio, if you just joined in, I hope I helped you with the other stuff. Okay. Thank you. If you go to the beginning, I talked about the straddles and spreads. There's only so much I can do the night before. Bye, Rich. Thank you very much. So go get some sleep. It's a busy time for all the people working who pass the exams. They have angry clients calling, asking why they lost all their money. Okay. By the way, with the market being down this much, yeah, you can sell if you want. But if you're thinking long term and you own anything, just don't worry about it. Just hold on to it. By next year, you should be back to where you are, unless this thing kills us all, and then it doesn't matter. So, Antonio, the best thing you do is get some sleep tonight. I don't know who's. Oh, you're using Pest Perfect, so I don't think they have any kind of crunch time facts or anything. But look up on Quora or Reddit and see if anyone has anything like anything from STC or Notman with crunch time facts. But other than that, the best thing you can do is get sleep and understand the suitability part of the options. You got to know, again, long stock, you buy put or sell a call. Short stock, you buy call or sell a put. That's the way you have to do everything. Okay. This was an add-on tonight. I just wanted to do if anyone wanted some help. I think that was some good stuff. Okay. So if you're trying to study for the SIE, and I see a lot of this on Reddit, and I come back to this, everyone's trying to tell you to take a lot of tests. It's fucking horrible advice. It really is. Yes, it works for some people. It works for people in finance. It works for some people. 90% of the people it does not work for. Read the book. Hopefully STC are achievable, but all of them work. If it's STC, make sure you get 14 through 20 down, and make sure you understand the risks, all the different risks. It's interest rate risk, reinvestment risk, all those things. I've done videos on them. You need to know the regs. I'm trying to work my way through the videos on those, but you have to know the FINRA rules. What an agent can and can't do. What a registered rep can and can't do. Same sort of thing. Understand here's one rule. If they say to you, the registered rep says, like, what should the registered rep say? It's not a good thing. It's usually some sort of warning. It's like a warning, like, oh, this is not for you, or this is risky. It is not a, oh, hey, pie in the sky, we're super happy about things. Okay? I knew today wouldn't be a long one because it's not prepared. I am trying to work through the SIE book. I'm going to try to get through chapter 3 either tonight or tomorrow and get that video up. And then we'll be back to Tuesday nights. I just wanted to see if anyone needed any help, and we'll go from there. Okay. 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 So for the so this is a great question. So you failed the SIE, and now you're studying for the top off. I love that, because why during the 30 days you're doing that. So here's my thing on this. If you fail the SIE and you're studying for the top off, do the month, spend the 30 days, 40 days for the top off, okay? Then when you're done, you will have a super grasp on the SIE. So then you just got to worry about learning the regs, which is in there. If it's STC, it's chapter 14 through 20, but work on the FINRA rules. So a lot of this, I think Goldman does it. They did it last year. They had everyone take the top off first, and then they took the SIE because it was so much easier. And the top off prepares you for the SIE. The problem with the SIE first, and I get it, is that you're studying a certain level of stuff, taking the test, and then you're restudying everything. Most of the books, the first 5 or 6 chapters, are recovering the SIE stuff again. Okay. So if you're studying for the top off, that will severely help you for the SIE, like beyond belief, because you'll learn this stuff way deeper, and then the SIE will not be hard for you. Shouldn't be hard. And if you were close, it's even better. Okay. And I think we're good.